For centuries, Africa has been painted with a broad brush, its diverse tapestry of cultures and history often reduced to a single narrative. But the reality is far more nuanced, far more extraordinary. Before European colonization, Africa was a land teeming with powerful empires, sophisticated trade networks, and centers of learning that rivaled any in the world. These were not isolated pockets of progress, but rather vibrant threads woven into the very fabric of a global civilization. Join me as we embark on a journey to uncover the real story of Africa's forgotten kingdoms, to reveal the majesty, the ingenuity, the sheer brilliance of a continent that helped shape the course of human history. Before European colonization, Africa was home to powerful empires, thriving trade networks, and advanced civilizations. Yet, history books often overlook this incredible past. Today, we uncover the real story of Africa's forgotten kingdoms, places of wealth, wisdom, and innovation that shaped the world. Africa was not a land of primitive tribes, it was a continent of great civilizations. Let's explore some of the most powerful African kingdoms before colonization. Imagine a city of stone, rising from the heart of southern Africa, its towers reaching for the sky. This is Great Zimbabwe, a testament to the architectural prowess of the Shona people. For centuries, Great Zimbabwe stood as a beacon of power and prosperity. Its massive stone walls, intricately carved and fitted without mortar, a testament to the ingenuity of its people. The scale of the city, its elaborate structures, and its strategic location at the heart of a vast trading network speak volumes about the sophistication of this ancient African civilization. And then there's Timbuktu, a city synonymous with mystery and learning. Situated on the edge of the Sahara Desert, Timbuktu was a crossroads of cultures, a place where scholars from across the Islamic world flocked to study ancient manuscripts and share their knowledge. Its libraries, overflowing with priceless texts on astronomy, mathematics, medicine, and literature, were beacons of intellectual pursuit, drawing scholars and students from far and wide. Timbuktu's very existence challenges the misconception of Africa as a continent devoid of intellectual tradition, revealing a vibrant history of scholarship and academic exchange. Further south, the Benin Empire flourished. Its bronze sculptures, renowned for their exquisite detail and artistry, are a testament to the craftsmanship of its people. The Benin bronzes, depicting the royal court, warriors, and scenes from daily life, are not mere decorations. They are historical records, capturing the essence of a civilization at its zenith. These intricate castings, created using the lost wax method, showcase a mastery of metallurgy and artistic expression that rivaled anything found in Europe at the time. And let us not forget the Kingdom of Kush, a powerful empire that ruled over Nubia for centuries. The Kushites were renowned for their military prowess, their mastery of ironworking, and their vibrant culture. Their pyramids, while smaller than their Egyptian counterparts, are no less impressive, standing as silent sentinels to a civilization that once rivaled the might of Egypt. The Kushites, with their own distinct language, art, and burial practices, remind us of the diversity and richness of ancient African civilizations. These are just a few examples of the many great kingdoms that flourished in Africa before colonization. Empires built on trade, innovation, and a deep understanding of the natural world. The legacy of these kingdoms lives on not just in the ruins they left behind, but in the spirit of resilience, creativity, and cultural richness that continues to define Africa today. These African empires were not isolated. They were part of a vast global trade network, dealing in gold, ivory, spices, textiles, and knowledge. From the bustling markets of Timbuktu to the royal courts of Great Zimbabwe, the pulse of global trade could be felt across the African continent. Caravans laden with gold, salt, ivory, and slaves traversed the Sahara Desert, connecting the Mediterranean world to the heart of Africa. These trade routes were not merely conduits for goods, they were arteries of knowledge, carrying ideas, innovations, and cultural practices across vast distances. The gold that flowed from the mines of West Africa found its way into the coffers of Europe, fueling the rise of empires and financing the Renaissance. The salt mined in the Sahara, a precious commodity in a land where preservation was key, was traded for gold, cola nuts, and even slaves, highlighting the complex economic relationships that existed across the continent. But it wasn't just material goods that were exchanged. African scholars, mathematicians, and astronomers made their way to centers of learning in the Middle East and Asia, sharing their knowledge and contributing to the global intellectual landscape. The University of Timbuktu, for instance, became a renowned center of Islamic scholarship, attracting students and academics from across the Muslim world. The influence of African art and culture could be felt far beyond the continent's shores. African textiles, renowned for their vibrant colors and intricate patterns, were highly prized in Europe and Asia. African music and dance, carried across the seas by traders and slaves, influenced musical traditions in the Americas and the Caribbean. The story of Africa's global influence before colonization is a testament to the interconnectedness of our world. It challenges the notion of Europe as the sole source of progress and innovation, revealing a world where ideas, goods, and cultural practices flowed freely across continents. It is a story that deserves to be told and celebrated, for it reminds us that history is not a linear narrative, but a rich tapestry woven from the contributions of people from all corners of the globe. Chapter 3: The Fall of African Kingdoms. So, what happened? If these African kingdoms were so powerful, why did they fall? The decline of Africa's great kingdoms was a complex process, driven by a confluence of factors both internal and external. While some kingdoms succumbed to internal strife and political instability, others were weakened by environmental changes, such as drought and famine. However, it was the arrival of European powers, with their insatiable appetite for resources and their ruthless pursuit of colonial domination, that ultimately sealed the fate of many of these once great civilizations. The transatlantic slave trade, one of the most horrific chapters in human history, had a devastating impact on Africa. Millions of Africans were forcibly removed from their homes, their skills and labor fueling the economies of the Americas, while decimating the populations of African kingdoms. The slave trade not only robbed Africa of its people but also fueled internal conflicts, as kingdoms raided each other for captives to sell to European slave traders. The arrival of European powers also brought with it new diseases, such as smallpox, to which Africans had little immunity. These diseases swept through the continent, decimating populations and weakening resistance to European encroachment. The combination of disease, warfare, and the slave trade left many African kingdoms vulnerable to European conquest. European powers, armed with superior weaponry and driven by a belief in their own racial superiority, began to carve up the continent, imposing their own systems of government, education, and religion. Traditional trade routes were disrupted, local industries were undermined, and African societies were forced to conform to European norms. The fall of Africa's great kingdoms was a tragedy, a loss not just for Africa but for the world. It serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of greed, racism, and the pursuit of power at any cost. However, it is important to remember that the story of Africa did not end with colonization. The spirit of innovation, resilience, and cultural richness that characterized these great kingdoms lived on, eventually fueling the struggle for independence and shaping the continent we know today. Chapter 4: Why this history matters today. Africa's history did not start with colonization, and it should not be defined by it. Understanding this past is crucial for shaping Africa's future. The spirit of innovation, resilience, and greatness still lives on in modern Africa. The story of Africa's lost kingdoms is not just a tale of bygone eras, it is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring legacy of a continent that has faced immense challenges throughout its history. By understanding the achievements and innovations of Africa's past, we can challenge the narrative of a continent defined by poverty, conflict, and underdevelopment. The legacy of these kingdoms is evident in the vibrant cultures, languages, and traditions that continue to thrive across Africa today. It is present in the entrepreneurial spirit of its people, the resourcefulness of its communities, and the determination to overcome the challenges of the present. By recognizing and celebrating the achievements of Africa's past, we can inspire future generations to build a brighter future for the continent. The story of Africa's lost kingdoms also serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the dangers of greed, exploitation, and the pursuit of power at the expense of others. The transatlantic slave trade, a horrific chapter in human history, serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of dehumanizing and exploiting entire populations. By learning from the mistakes of the past, we can work towards a more just and equitable future for all. Understanding Africa's history in its entirety including the glorious chapters that predate colonization, is crucial for fostering a sense of pride and identity among Africans, both on the continent and in the diaspora. By reclaiming their history, Africans can challenge the narratives that have been imposed upon them and shape their own destinies. The spirit of innovation, resilience, and greatness that characterized the kingdoms of old is alive and well in modern Africa. By embracing this legacy, Africans can build a future worthy of their ancestors, a future where the continent reclaims its rightful place as a beacon of progress, creativity, and human potential. As we've journeyed through the ages, witnessing the rise and fall of empires, the ebb and flow of trade, and the enduring spirit of a people, one thing is clear: Africa's story is far from over. The continent's rich history, often overlooked or misrepresented, is ripe with lessons for us all. It's a testament to the power of human ingenuity, the interconnectedness of our world, and the enduring legacy of a continent that has shaped the course of human civilization. From the towering stone walls of Great Zimbabwe to the bustling libraries of Timbuktu, the echoes of Africa's past resonate through the ages, reminding us of the continent's indelible mark on the world. It's a history that deserves to be told, celebrated, and learned from. Now it's your turn. What African kingdom fascinates you the most? Drop a comment below and let's celebrate Africa's rich history together. Like, subscribe, and share for more African history.